Two things about marriage have come together in one conversation. We just talked to a dude who's really worried that polygamy is the next step in legalizing marriages. Maybe you're worried about it yourself. I'm not particularly.
Honestly, I'm not that worried about it, I don't think, but I think he's absolutely right. It's a coming. Well, people are working to get it to come.
Legally speaking, I don't know how you outlaw it if you allow marriage, but and then the other thing of my wife and I, we were outraged over various programs that exist for some people and don't for others, and we were wondering if we got a divorce and my wife claimed poverty, but she lived with me. Would she and the kids then qualify for all the stuff that's out there, whether it's going to college for free or I know who is somebody we know who's their kids are going to a really nice private school for nothing because they're under some income requirement. I thought, well, why couldn't we? Why don't we get a divorce or legally we'll get a divorce, but our lives don't change a bit. You make under this amount of money, and they get to go to that private school for free.
I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to do that. You'd have to really sell it.
I'm sure you're not supposed to do it.
I mean, when the inspectors came out to the farm, you'd have to be set up in the barn with some sort of cot and like some dried food goods. And when they come out, you'd have to say, "That bitch is getting nothing from me. Her and them rugrats."
Who are these inspectors?
I hate them.
Are these the same inspectors that inspect whether or not the kid getting the free school lunch program is actually a poor kid or not?
No, there's no need for expecting that, Jack, because it's generosity and it's beautiful for the government to feed people's children, not make them feed themselves. Why would we have inspectors? Let's see.
Would you tell Jack and Sam? I mean,
no, they don't need to because it's a stupid, ridiculous legal definition given our stupid, ridiculous tax system and liberal state. The welfare state.
Is Jack going to explain his quasi-legal tax maneuver to a 1-year-old? Probably, not so much. No. Laura in Folsom.
I'm just leaning more and more toward cheating the tax system as much as I can because
you're aware the proceedings are being aired, right?
I think the whole Feinstein thing on Friday, when it turns out her husband gets $30 million a mile off the bullet train. What a shock! I mean, the way they steal from us. Why would any individual just willingly say, "Okay, you can take as much money as you want and just go set it on fire if you want"? What are you going to do?
That's what I was saying last week, and you got to see in a minority, those of us who pay income taxes, so we can't vote against none of this stuff. I'll just keep paying. Yeah, I know, man. I was bitter at the end of last week. Laura in Folsom.
Just the end of last week? That's the only time.
What's your point? Good morning. Hi.
I have a solution for Jack.
It's not polygamy, is it? Because I can't take it.
Dang it. Because seriously, if this, you watch Sister Wives or whatever. One guy is providing for 8 wives and 140 kids, and he buys them all a house. And I always wondered how he could afford that. Well, if legally he's only married to one, isn't he now living with a dozen unwed mothers?
Right. That is something people always point out about polygamy is they're getting tons of government money with their arrangement. That's what I'm talking about. Basically, it's the same sort of thing, just only with one wife.
So you don't need to divorce Marcy. You just need to...
I divorced her a long time ago.
Oh, sorry.
A name that should never be spoken.
Oh, why don't you just... Yes.
Just say your wife. Whoa. I got to sit down for a second. Can I sit down for a second? I was standing. I'm going to sit for a second.
Oh, my God. What an incredible faux pas. You just need to mumble something and walk out of the cocktail party.
Whoa.
There's no saving that.
I might have to go home.
Well, go ahead. Make your point very quickly.
Well, now that he's not going to marry a whole bunch of women, when they marry goats, what's next?
What's next? All right. You know what? What's next? Marrying goats. That's enough out of you. Nice lady, but
that was rough.
Party foul.
I can't tell you how that's not good.
Well, it happens.
What do you mean it happens?
Well, it happens.
It's like when it's
the only time it's happened in like 6 years.
Yeah.
So it doesn't happen a lot.
Yeah.
It's like when I used to screen and people called me Scott all the time. It happens,
I run a mental double check every time I'm going to bring up your wife.
That's a good idea.
Oh, yeah. It's Ben in beautiful Wheatland. Hello, Ben.
Hey, I heard Jack talking about getting divorced for financial reasons, and that may be a good idea. But there are other
trying to cheat the welfare state the way they're cheating me.
Hey, absolutely. But there are other considerations. Penn Jillette has talked about it multiple times. When he was getting married and was planning on having children, he spent a good chunk of change going to all sorts of lawyers to find out how he and his wife could get the same legal protections without getting a government license, being a libertarian and everything.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
And he couldn't do it. He could not get any lawyer who could guarantee him a contract that would provide all the protections that a marriage license would. So if something happened to him or his wife, that his grandparents couldn't come in and take the children or whatever. Not that he was worried about that, but he couldn't get the guarantee of it. So while it might be a good financial decision, there are other considerations.
Right, that would be a stumbling block.
Yeah, interesting tale, and well told, Ben. Thanks, buddy.
And shouldn't marriage be unique? Shouldn't the government encourage marriage for, building block of society?
But for 100 different societal reasons.
It discourages marriage in so many different ways.
Oh, yeah. It tries to stamp it out, because if you're married, you are vastly less likely to be dependent. And they want that now. They want it. I'm not anti-polygamy.
For other people or for yourself?
At all. I don't know. In principle.
I think it would be awful, personally, for myself.
How so?
I just think it would be terrible.
I don't know. I got 3 kids. I like all of them. We get along. They have different hobbies. It's sometimes they talk to each other. It's fine. Little help. I mean, there's a lot of work to do at Getty Acres. Or at the Getty compound.
And I can't imagine
having a couple of helping hands around.
We keep assuming it's a one dude, many women, but it could be the other way around. I can't imagine.
Oh, that's not going to happen.
I can't imagine.
That is not going to happen. Hands off, sir.
I just can't imagine many people in the multiple side of the equation signing up for it.
Open space area.
Why would you do that?
Well, I just think maybe, if your husband has greater amorous needs than you, and there's somebody you trusted and to help out, taking care of that, help you with the housework, raising the kids.
Yes.
Maybe you're off, you got a career, but you want a family, and you got the other wife, the sister wife.
Why are you getting married at all if you want a life like that?
Because you want to have it all, Jack.
So
you deserve it all.
So you can run for president?
Exactly.
That was a Mitt Romney joke? Mormon joke? Polygamy joke?
What? That was a stretch. That's what that